Good morning, everybody. It is 9:17, Thursday. Again, for those who haven't finished that quiz, you've got to get it into me by Friday, or otherwise it's going to be a 0, and that's going to be really bad for your grades. So let's talk about today's lesson, okay? So today's lesson, we're still talking about parabolas. We're talking about parabolas, and what we want to do today is we want to make equations. We're going to make quadratic equations. The word quadratic really means, in a sense, x squared equations. We're talking about x squared equations. So far, we've got 3 different ways to distinguish x squared equations. One is the vertex form, which I like best, because what I like about the vertex form is it's y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. What I like about vertex form is the vertex is right in the formula. Vertex is these 2 numbers. Now, the negative means opposite, so it's always the opposite of that value. So the vertex is always just hk. I like vertex form. The value of a tells you whether it's tall, skinny, upside down, or whatever. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. If it's in standard form, which a lot of parabolas are in standard form, it's in the form of some y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And again, that's a parabola also, but it's a little harder to find the vertex. So we're given this little formula of x equals negative b over 2a. So we know a, b, and c. So to find the vertex, I'll take the negative of that number divided by 2 times this number. That gives us the line of symmetry. That's the x value of the vertex. And then we plug that answer back in to get the corresponding y value. And we've done that, okay? And we'll do that a little bit more today, okay? And then the third thing is called the X-Intercept Form, okay? So that's like if it was factored and we get our mini equations, which we've talked a little bit about last year. So we know that after you factor something, as an example, maybe I've got y equals x minus 3x plus 1. We know that we'd have our x-intercepts at positive 3 and negative 1, okay? So whatever these values are, we'd solve our mini equations. We'd have p and q, and then that helps us get our parabola also, okay? We'd have to know what the value of a is to know if it's going up, down, or to find the value of a, whether it's going to be skinny or wide, okay? Now, let's do an example. So we're going to use all 3 of these equations. The question is which one? So let's do an example. Example 1. Okay, so we're going to find the equation of a parabola, okay? So it passes through the point 6, 4 and has a vertex. Okay, that's a key word. Has a vertex of 2, negative 3. So it has a vertex. Let's use vertex form. Okay, we know the vertex, so let's use vertex form. So let me write that down. So let's write down our y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. All right. It says parabola passes through 6, 4 vertex, so vertex form. All right. So if this is my vertex, that's my h, and that's my k, because of vertex form. That's my h, my k. So I'm going to put my 2 there and my negative 3 there. So I'm just going to take and put my 2 there for h and my negative 3 in for k. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. Y equals a times x minus 2 squared plus a minus 3, okay? Now I'm not done, because I really have to find this value here. I've got the vertex, and the vertex I know is at 2, negative 3. So if I just do a real quick little picture of this, I've got 2, negative 3, and that's all I know. I don't know if it goes upside down this way. I don't know if it's fat, wide. That's all I know. So I need to find the value of this a. Have to. So to find the value of the a, we've got some more information. We're given a point 6, 4. So what I'm going to do is plug 6, 4. I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug it into what I have to find out what a is. Well, This is a point, and every point has an x and a y value. So I'll take the 4, I'll put it for the y, I'll take the 6 and put it in for the x, and I'll be able to solve for the value of a. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go put my 4 in for y. I'm going to put my 6 in for x. And now all I have to do is solve for the value of a. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 equals a times 4 squared minus 3, right? I'm going to have 4 equals, let's see, that's 16. 16a minus 3. Okay, I'm going to go plus 3 plus 3. So I have 7 equals 16a. I'll divide by 16, and I know the value of a is going to be 7/16. Okay, so let's finish this up. So I'm going to take the 7/16, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this equation, because I know what the value of a is. So my answer, the equation of this parabola, is y equals, a is 7/16, x minus 2 squared minus 3. And that is the answer to this parabola that has a vertex of -2, 3. And it has to go through 6, 4 because I used 6, 4 to get the value of a. Okay. All right, let's take a look at example number 2. Example 2, a parabola has x-intercepts of 2 and 8 and passes through the point 0, 3. Find the equation of this parabola. Okay, so, all right, first of all, it has x-intercepts, doesn't it? Keyword, it's got x-intercepts of 2 and 8. So I'm going to use this formula here. X-Intercepts Form, it says X-Intercepts 2 and 8. Let's use this formula here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up as a y equals a times my x minus p times my x minus q. All right? That's my formula. Now, this is my p and my q, because those are the intercepts. So we put 2 in for p and 8 in for q. All right, so let me rewrite this. Y equals a times x minus 2 times x minus 8. Okay, now I'm going to give you a real quick little picture so you guys get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's what I have. This is all I know. It's all I know. So this parabola could go this way, could go this way, could be really tall and skinny, could be really wide and fat. That's all I know. I don't know where it is. So I have to find this value of a that forces it to go through the point 0, 3. So again, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to take my 0 and plug it in for x in both places, my 3 in for y, because every point has an x and a y value. So I'm going to take my 0 and plug it in for x. I'm going to take my -3 and plug it in for y, because that's my x and y, and I'll solve for the value of a. All right, so I'm going to have 3, because that's what my y value of my x is, or my point is, a times 0 for x, 0 for x, and let's simplify what I have. Okay, I've got 3 equals a times -2 times -8, right? I'm running out of room, so I'll scoot it up here. I'm going to have 3 equals, let's see, that's 16, or 16a. Divide by 16, and a is going to be 3/16. Okay, now I just have to finish this equation. So I'm going to finish this equation right here, and I'm going to put my 3/16 right there. And so my answer in intercept form would be a y equals 3/16 times x minus 2 times x minus 8. And that form is just fine. That's my answer. I know I've got x-intercepts of 2 and 8. This 3/16 is the value of a that forces it to go through 0, 3. I use 0, 3 to get this answer, so I know it goes through the point 0, 3. All right, I'm going to turn the page. I think I'm going to turn the page. Is that it? Hold on. Oh, I thought I had, oh, no, I knew. There it is. Okay, all right. Okay, example 3. A parabola passes through these 3 points. Find the equation of the parabola that passes through these points. Okay, all right. This one's a little bit harder, so I'll take my time, okay? This is where we had to do the elimination and all that stuff. So, first of all, if it's in, I'm going to put it in standard form, okay? So I'm going to go y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, all right? I'm going to use my standard form. I need 3 equations. So let's make equation 1. Equation 1 is made from point 1. And every point has some x and y value. So equation 1 is going to have 5 equals a times x squared, negative 2 squared, plus b times x, which is negative 2 plus c. So I plugged in 5 for the y, because that's my y value, and the negative 2 in for x in both places. Let me simplify this. 5 is equal to a 4a minus a 2b plus a 1c. Equation 1. Equation 2. X and y. I'm going to take and plug those in. So I'm going to plug my negative 3 in for y and my 1 in for x in both places. So we'll have equation 2 is going to be a negative 3 equals a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c. Well, let me simplify equation 2. Negative 3 equals 1a plus 1b plus 1c. There's equation 2. I need 3 equations. So equation 3 comes from the third point. Some x and y value. Plug the 7 in for y and the 4 in for the x's. So we'll go 7 equals a times 4 squared. Just plugging them back into here. Plus b times 4, because that's the x value, plus c. Okay, let me simplify this. So if I simplify this, I wind up with 7 equals 16a plus 4b plus 1c. All right, here's what I have. Let me rewrite my 3 equations, okay? I have, to start off with, equation 1, I have, and I'm going to rewrite it the other way, 4a minus 2b plus 1c equals 5. Okay, let's screw it up. I'm just going to rewrite equation 1. I'm going to rewrite equation 2. A 1a plus a 1b plus a 1c equals negative 3. I'm going to rewrite equation 3. 16a plus 4b plus 1c equals 7. Okay, we did this before. We did this just in the last quiz. How do we solve for a, b, and c? So we're going to do elimination method. So I'm going to go ahead and start with first, this is going to take some paper. Let's put equation 1 and equation 2 together. And what I'll do is I will simplify by subtracting out the c's, okay? So equation 1, let's make it easy. Equation 1, 4a minus 2b plus 1c equals 5. Equation 2, we're going to subtract. We've got to be careful when we subtract. 1a plus 1b plus 1c. We're going to subtract equals negative 3. Now we've got to be careful. We're going to subtract. So I'm just going to bring the negative 3 to make it easy. Okay, it's negative here. Make that negative, and a negative, make that positive. Okay. All right, I'm just going to subtract. So in a sense, I brought through the negative multiplied by negative 1. Okay, so if I add, now instead of subtracting, add, I'll get a 3a minus 3b, cancel, equals 8. equation 4. All right, I know it's a pain. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and slide up a separate piece of paper and bring this one back in. So let's make equation 5. So let's put equation 2 and 3 together and subtract out the c's, okay? So equation 2, which is my 1a plus my 1b plus 1c equals negative 3. And equation 3, which is a 16a plus a 4b plus a 1c equals 7, right? I'm going to subtract. So what I'll really do is, to make it easy, I'll just bring through a negative 1. I'll multiply it by negative 1. So I'll make it a negative 16, negative, negative, and a negative 7, okay? It's like subtracting. I'll just bring through the negative 1, and I'll add. Okay, I'll get a negative 15a minus 3b, cancel, cancel, equals negative 10. Okay, equation 5. Okay, put equation 5 with equation 4. So I'll put equation 5 right here. That's my negative 15a minus 3b equals negative 10. Okay, now this isn't so bad. I'll subtract 4 and 5. So what I'll do to make it easy for myself is I'll just multiply through this by negative 1. So I get opposites here. That makes it positive, 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 right? And then when I subtract these, I'll get the value of a. I'll get an 18a equals 18. Divide, and a is 1. Okay, whew, I got a is 1. Now, let's figure out what b is. So maybe I'll take that and put it into equation 5, right? So I'll take my 1 and put it into a. So I'll go negative 15 times my 1 minus my 3b equals negative 10. Negative 15 minus 3b equals negative 10, right? Just multiplied there. Plus 15 plus 15. Oh, these are a pain, huh? Negative 3b equals, is that 5? I guess so, unless I made a mistake somewhere. Alright. Okay, right, so plus 15, okay, 3b equals 5, divide b equals negative 5/3, and then to get c, take it all the way back to one of the originals. Probably the easiest one would be equation 1. We go back to equation 1. Equation 1 was a 4a plus, oops, my bad, 4a minus 2b plus c equals 5, and we'll plug in negative 5/3 here. I'll plug in 1 right here, and I'll go 4 times 1 minus 2 times negative 5/3 plus c equals 5, right? Oh, that's hard. 4 plus 10/3 plus c equals 5. 10/3. Okay, that's the same as 5. Let's see, that's the same as 3 1/3 plus, that's a 7 1/3. If I add these together, that's a 3 1/3 plus 4 plus c equals 5 minus 7/3 minus 7/3, 7 1/3. So I got 5 minus 7 1/3, and I get negative 2 1/3 for c. Okay, so finally, I have an answer of this equation. Y equals, now I know what a is, a 1x squared, because that's a. B is going to be a minus 5/3 x. C minus 2 1/3. Wow. Okay, there it is. That's hard, okay? So we'll make sure that's kind of like the extra today if you have any questions. Okay, that's all I got. I will put the homework up, and so you just have to check it and get her done. Okay.